Over the last couple of weeks, there's been a lot of drama in conservative media circles dealing with Steven Crowder, Louder with Crowder, and various personalities at the Daily Wire. Ultimately, this was one of the biggest too long didn't read versions of video ever, because it really ends up being hours of video out there. Because I like some of the personalities involved, I did follow some of it. So what I decided to do was come up with essentially a synopsis of the whole thing in under 5 minutes. Okay, so Crowder's contract with the Blaze was up, so he's become a free agent. Apparently, as soon as he became a free agent, several large conservative media outlets approached him. Steve Crowder released a video and showed a redacted contract he was offered. The redactions removed the company that made the offer and the price it was offered. The bulk of Steve's complaints revolved around the various multi-million-dollar penalties for being demonetized by platforms and the permanent loss of rights to their material for anything made while under contract. So he said, voiced this idea of calling Stop Big Con, or Big Conservatism. The idea of they need to alter the way they're doing contracts, especially with up-and-coming people. The community seemed very split on what he was trying to say. Some thought he was whining about the deal he was offered. Many were demanding to know who offered the contract. Stop Big Con appears to be the beginning effort of Crowder launching a new media channel. The Daily Wire came out with a statement stating that the redacted contract Crowder had shown was theirs. Jeremy Boring suggested that the amount offered was akin to star basketball contracts, and that this was a standard contract. And he also said that Steve Crowder could have easily redlined objectionable portions of the contract or counter-offered. The general insinuation was that Crowder had been offered a fortune and declined it outright, and had failed to counter-negotiate it like many other talents had done before. Community sentiment seemed to shift against Crowder at this point. Then Candace Owens, and she'd already been previously scheduled to show up on Tim Pool. What ended up happening is the conversation could not but turn to what was going on between Crowder and Daily Wire. Candace ended up echoing many of Boring's sentiments. Many people watching the video ended up taking her side in terms of how she presented it. Crowder then released the taped phone conversation between him and Jeremy Boring of Daily Wire. This was a conversation that was directly about the contract that they'd offered him. The emphasis of the conversation was that Crowder said that because of demonetization and strike penalties, this contract was a non-starter and that there was likely no way forward. Crowder's biggest complaints appeared to be that the Daily Wire was enforcing the censorship of big tech platforms and creating an environment where new conservative and libertarian talent would be stifled by such contracts. That conservative media needed to build a backbench, and what Daily Wire was doing was counterproductive to that effort. The community kind of fractured on this. Some understood the point he was trying to make. A lot of others missed it, and many were also upset about Crowder taping and then releasing the conversation. Crowder then appeared on Tim Pool. He clarified his position. He says he is about the political movement first and the money second, and he stated that the conversation he released about the phone call essentially backs that point up. His main point was that it's bad enough when a content creator is demonetized or gets a strike. However, when companies like Daily Wire also implement multi-million-dollar fines on top of that to their talent, they are in effect enforcing big tech's censorship rules. He made it clear that Daily Wire isn't the only offender. They talked extensively about Crowder launching a media production company. He sounded like he'd prefer not to do it himself, but seemed to be leaning towards it. His goal, if such a production company was created was to create a space for up-and-coming conservatives and libertarians to be able to grow and prosper in. Ultimately, trying to nail down exactly what's 100% accurate and what the full sentiment is, this very much reads to me, my marketing part of my brain says this was a publicity stunt. Very clearly, Crowder is attempting to test the waters to see what the possibilities of making such a thing happen are. And it's also distinctly possible that the Daily Wire may have been in on it. That the supposed bad blood back and forth is merely an effort to create even more publicity. Crowder just outing them wouldn't have generated much. Boring coming on and then deliberately making a point of outing himself by saying this was our contract created a very marketable controversy. Now, I won't bet on that, but that's what the tiny marketing part of my brain is saying. All right, hope you enjoyed this rapid synopsis. Please smash the like button. Tell me what you think. Do you think this was a publicity stunt? Are both sides in on it? Comment below. If you think somebody might find this interesting, please share it with them. And if you stumbled onto this due to YouTube bringing you here, please consider subscribing to my channel. Thank you for spending time with me this evening. Hope to see you again in a future video.